In this case, let's enter the numbers. 24, 30, 35. Let's first determine your final bracket. You made 135, so you're below that, so for this bracket, you pay 10% of that, okay? You're still above that, so you're gonna pay 12% times the amount over and above 10275. Now, in this bracket, you're going to multiply your income, because your income is less than the upper bound, minus the lower bound. So total taxes actually make that 8. So you're gonna pay that much in taxes. If you made 445,000, it's gonna be the same, but now you're in this bracket. You're going to pay that much in taxes. So your marginal tax rate is 35 because you're in that bracket, but your average tax rate, total taxes divided by taxable income, 29. So just because your marginal is 35 doesn't mean on average you pay 35.
Can you show the formulas for how you got the tax numbers? Like in column 8.
I mean, it's basically, think of it this way. If your income is above that bracket's upper limit, tax rate times upper minus lower, okay?
Show the formula for the average tax rate.
Total taxes divided by taxable income. I'll actually give you guys a template to do that automatically. I don't have that handy right now, but I've done it so that it automatically figures out where it is. But you can kind of use this as a,
You post this in the platform, right?
yeah.
It will show us the formula and everything. In the
Yeah.
platform?
That's the nice thing about an Excel file.
Ah,
It saves the formulas. That's why I don't use a financial calculator. I know other sections of this class does. I don't know why, because technically speaking, part of the curriculum is an Excel class. The reason you take that Excel class so that we can use Excel as a calculator, but hey, I'm not the one who's paying their salary. You guys are. If you guys don't object, that's your problem. But somebody who doesn't teach you Excel is actually stealing your money. I'm serious. Because skill, you may be a surgeon with a financial calculator. Nobody's gonna give a crap about it. 20 years ago, that would have been a skill that you could write on your resume. Now, if you write it, I'm a very good use of, TI2, so you can say, what? TI what? there are certain things you can do. If you have a solar powered calculator, you get stranded on an island, hey, you can make calculations with that. That's about it. And I can do a lot of those calculations in my head. That doesn't make me any better than somebody who's using a financial calculator. This thing is the real calculator. Why? Because suppose regulations change, then they decided that this is going to be 38, 40, 49. I don't have to change any other thing. I have my template, I'm done. I know your marginal is 40, now your average tax rate went to 32. So if, Biden wanted to pay off some stuff by making the high earners pay more, you can figure out what it is. Do you really think that underneath all that H&R Block TurboTax, there's actually something like an Excel sheet in the background? They have all the rules and formulas going there. It just calculates it for you. And with Excel, things are so much easier. I do taxes of a lot of my friends, and I'm not even a CPA. Not that you need to be a CPA to do basic income tax. I mean, it's complicated business stuff. I don't even attempt that. I can do it, I just don't want to. You spend too much time on that to decide what's deductible, what's not. You make some, aggressive choices. Let a CPA make those aggressive choices. But I do it for friends of mine, simple stuff. All right, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about taxes. Let's talk about the concept of cash flow. Cash flow from assets, CFFA. Sometimes we also call this free cash flow. Now, it has two definitions. One from the viewpoint of where it goes, and one from the viewpoint of where does it come from. It's the sum of cash flow to what you want to call shareholders plus cash flow to creditors. So if you have free cash flow, this means after all of your operations, there is that much cash free that can go either to shareholders or to debt holders. So CFTC and CFTS. An alternative definition or identity, it looks at where does those cash come from. The operating cash flow, they're going to define, let me define cash flow to shareholders. Cash dividends paid plus minus net new equity. Cash flow to creditors, interest payments, expense, minus net new borrowing. So if you pay $100 million in interest, but you also borrowed an additional $400 million that year, your cash flow to creditors is negative $300 million. or you paid $100 million in interest. You also repaid $300 million worth of debt. That's negative net borrowing. So net cash flow to creditors is 400. By net new equity, we mean value of the new shares issued minus any cash, any stock repurchases. And cash flow from assets is also equal to operating cash flow short OCF minus net capital spending NCS minus change in net working capital. And operating cash flow is simple. Net income plus depreciation slash amortization plus net interest expense. NCS is equal to net fixed assets ending minus net fixed assets beginning plus depreciation. So if you start with $100 million worth of net fixed assets, but you ended up with 120. Does that mean you bought $20 million worth of stuff? Not necessarily. Because net fixed assets ending, if you don't buy anything new, you have to deduct depreciation, right? To get the net fixed assets ending. So you need to add back the depreciation. So that 20 million also includes depreciation.